I'd like to present Jess. So Jess, once again, she's the platform engineer of interactions at Kinetic Creations. A little bit about Jess's company. Kinetic has offices in Detroit, Atlanta, and Chicago, and develops imaginative live event content engineered to inform, engage, and motivate audiences. So Jess, I'll leave it up to you, and looking forward to your presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Max. Hi, everybody. Like Max said, my name is Jess. I am a platform engineer for Kinetic Creations, and my primary focus is on the engagement and interactive portions of our events. So I spend a lot of time in MeetingPulse. Little background, Kinetic Creations has been supporting live events for the past 20 years. We work with events spanning from industry conferences to professional meetups, sales kickoff meetings, nonprofit galas, the whole gamut. Our clients are Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, international technology providers, and beyond. So we work with all sorts of clients and all sorts of industries. And you'll notice I mentioned live events there. Historically, that is what Kinetic Creations has done, live events. So when COVID came into the picture and live events suddenly didn't exist anymore, it was a little alarming, to say the least. We needed to adapt quickly and make some really big changes. So that's what we did. And over the past 15 months, we've worked really hard to create a brand new division in our company to provide virtual event services. In that time, we've worked with over 50 clients, providing full platform support for almost half of them. And that's where MeetingPulse has been such a huge asset to us. So our biggest initial challenge was finding the right technology. And I'm going to start sharing my screen now. Let's see here. Okay, can y'all see? Yeah, good.
Yes, looks good.
So thank you. So because, like I mentioned, we support a very broad array of clients and industries and events, our needs are equally complex. Functionality, configurability, custom branding, all very important. Obviously, creating an engaging attendee experience is a huge challenge from behind a screen, not to mention gauging whether or not you were successful at doing that. So we've been using MeetingPulse for about 9 months, and already it has solved those issues and more for us. We typically use it in tandem with an event hosting and ticketing site called Swoogo, and we embed MeetingPulse into an iframe, so it looks kind of like this. For this particular event, we also added a little kind of instructional video over here to make sure it was really easy for people to be involved. And the core functionality that we use with the majority of our clients is first and foremost Pulse. So this guy right here, they love the real-time engagement, the little pop-up, animation that comes, and then the detailed reporting is huge too. So our clients can review their event content after the show and really identify those key points based on the big spikes in the reporting that resonated the most with their audience. So they can, plan more strategically for the content of their future events. We've also put together this little sort of gamification functionality deck around how we use it for our clients. So polling, unsurprisingly, gets the most mileage from us, both in how often and the number of ways we use it. So we do, session quizzes and pop-up trivia questions to reinforce key information throughout the show. We do kind of just for fun surveys and polls both during and before the show while folks are getting on the site and waiting. And of course, we do post-event surveys as well. Always try to recommend that wherever people are willing to do it. We also utilize the ideas module as our live chat tool to allow attendees to engage with each other, discuss the content, One of our favorite things about this is that we can embed the same meeting on multiple pages. So if you jump into like a live stream page from here, you're going to see the exact same chat feed and pop-up questions and everything. So it really provides a little more continuity as you navigate the platform and allows you to continue those conversations. And then we also really frequently use Q&A during our live sessions with presenters. And I think the Q&A tool in particular is a great example of how the little details in a product can become so valuable. So the fact that we can hide questions that have already been answered so that presenters don't get lost in the list trying to find a new one, to respond to, or, that moderation is an option within the Q&A and moderators can correct typos in questions that are submitted to prevent someone from stumbling as they read it out loud. These are just tiny little bits of functionality, but they truly level up the service that we're able to provide to our clients and the quality as well. Back over here, another tool that we use quite a lot is the announcements tool. Most often we use it as sort of those navigational guides. So like you see here, see you back online in 5 minutes when we're taking a break, or click the button below to jump into your breakout. So we use it most often for that, or to share exciting updates like prize winners or fun facts about keynote speakers, throughout our events. And then lastly, we like to use the materials module most often, to reiterate that important information, link out to any third party, resources we want to share, so on and so forth. And then because MeetingPulse is both very robust and very configurable, we're able to get creative with our recommendations and add real value to our clients' events and their desired outcomes. So for example, one of our events consisted of, your usual pre-recorded live stream sessions, but they also had almost 100 on-demand videos and a handful of other resources and content for attendees to review on their own time. It was essentially an employee training meeting. So they wanted the ability to track who had watched the content and not just who clicked the link, but who stuck through for the entire video. So we were able to solve this with MeetingPulse by embedding right here in the video. We did it towards the end of it, so it didn't pop up until you got there and you clicked out. And it was just a nice, easy, you entered your email address and submitted some feedback. And this was great because we were not only able to provide our clients with the reporting of who had watched the sessions, but also some feedback in response to them. And this sort of like digital passport concept has become really, really valuable to us. It's something we incorporate as often as possible. And then our other favorite thing about MeetingPulse is really that it just empowers us to say yes to our clients' requests more often. Another recent client that we had was an international technology provider hosting a 3-day internal sales kickoff meeting. And this meeting is usually held in person. So they really wanted to prioritize engagement within the attendee experience and make it feel as much like as an in-person event as possible. It's a sales team, everybody's excited, they want to be involved. So we pitched a pretty comprehensive engagement strategy that really centered around gamification. The idea was to provide frequent opportunities throughout the event. I think it was like every 7 to 11 minutes, something would pop up allowing you to get involved, offer a wide variety of ways to get involved, answering a question in a poll, submitting a Q&A during the live exec panel, submitting a video of your sales pitch, and then finally to incentivize these actions to really encourage that engagement. So essentially we hoped that Pulse, we could, 1, encourage and reward, those desired behaviors, 2, create a more social environment, provide a common sense of purpose, 3, reinforce those key takeaways for the attendees, and 4, collect more valuable data to gain a better sense of the overall success of the event. Our client loved the pitch, was willing to throw some resources at the prizes, so we got to work, created the structure, built out some fancy spreadsheets to make it really easy to keep track of the points by using the MeetingPulse report exports, and built out a leaderboard as well so that attendees could keep track, of where they are in real time with the contest. So it went great for the incentives. There were individual prizes via a raffle following each question. So every time a pop-up question was asked, you knew somebody was going to win. We kept the list running in materials, and we shared the winners via the announcements tool. And then there were 8 grand prizes for the overall top point earners. And we were sure to award points for engaging, not just for getting something correct. So we weren't discouraging participation. And implementation of the strategy was certainly a bit challenging. There was a lot of prep work in advance and getting all the questions together and working with the client and building out the spreadsheet tools. But in the end, it was entirely worth the effort. We ended up with nearly 100% participation over the event. And I think the fact that it wasn't 100 was mostly just because there were some issues accessing platforms from China with all the firewalls. We gave away over 400 prizes. Our overall NPS score was 8.3. We received an abundance of positive feedback from both the attendees and the organizers in our post-event survey. So overall, it was just a huge success. Reached our goals, client was very satisfied, and we've continued to use this strategy since then, and just worked on streamlining the setup and improving the results. So to wrap it up, MeetingPulse has proven itself to be an incredibly versatile and valuable tool for us. We expect our ROI to be almost 150% after we get through our first full year of using it. We love coming up with new ways to utilize the tools and really hope to continue incorporating it into our repertoire for hybrid and in-person events as well, now that the world is opening back up. So thanks for your time. If anyone has any questions or wants to chat more about anything in the world, you can get in touch at design@kineticcreations.com. And thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Jess. That was awesome. I think a really great example of how gamification can better the quality of your events there. So thanks for that.